Film and television are mixed media disciplines. Although you'll almost never see it, studios and shoots are peppered with sound gear, without which it would be impossible to hear sounds that complement the image. Learning how to acquire location sound is an essential skill you need to learn. On the top right hand side of the PD170 we have two XLR ports for mic cables. I'm going to plug my microphone into the socket labelled channel 1. On the bottom at the back of the camera we find the audio level button. Pressing this displays our sound levels on the viewfinder. Here we see our mic signal coming in nice and loud on the left hand channel and the right hand channel. However, had we plugged the mic into channel 2, we would see this. Our mic signal appears to have disappeared completely. To understand why this has happened, we need to look at the audio controls on the other side of the camera. The PD170 has two separate audio behaviours controlled by the channel selector. At the moment it is set to channel 1 and channel 2, which means the camera takes the sound from the first channel and copies it to left and right on the tape. But we're currently plugged into channel 2, so the camera is copying nothing to left and right. If we set the channel selector to channel 1, then it will store one mic input on the left-hand side and one on the right. And we indeed see our signal return on the right-hand side. The advantage of this mode is that we can plug another mic into the spare channel and capture two separate sound sources at the same time.
How does that help on a shoot though?
Well, I'm glad you asked. It makes it much easier for us to isolate our sound sources. The interviewee could have a microphone, and the interviewer could have one of their own.
So you could set the levels independently?
Yes, and much more in post. I could take your sound without affecting mine and cut it up, compress it, even pitch shift it if I wanted to.
It sounds like that would help a lot.
Yes. Yes, indeed. We're not going to look at the rest of the audio controls in detail. Just keep both channels set to mic level and plus 48 volts on. By default, the PD170 automates the volume of microphones when people talk. Though this seems like a good idea as I move around a controlled space, if I were to talk to you in a noisy environment, you'd hear the levels constantly adjusting in the background. As I talk now, you can hear the music dip down, but in those silent breaks, the level of the music raises to compensate. To eliminate this problem, we need to open the viewfinder and press the menu button concealed underneath. Once inside the menu, the selection wheel will move through your items, which you can select by pushing on the wheel lightly. We want to scroll down to the picture of a tape and push the wheel to select that submenu. Inside, we see Audio Set, and entering that submenu, we see AGC, or Automatic Gain Control, is set to on for both our mic channels. To set this to manual, click in the wheel and select Off. Do this for both channels, and we're now in control. Now, if we bring up the audio level display, we can move our selection wheel to manually change the volume of the mic. Notice that the other channel does not change. To select that channel, click in the wheel, and you will now be controlling its level. As you set this, you're aiming to have the vocals around -20 dB, and peaking no higher than -12. This way, you leave yourself a little headroom should things get unexpectedly loud. Generally, it's better to record slightly too low than way too high. The headphone port is located on the front right-hand side of the camera under a rubber cover. It is essential that you or your sound recordist use headphones when shooting. To not do so would be the audio equivalent of pointing a camera without looking in the viewfinder. You need to monitor your sound to ascertain if it's clear, to make sure it's not distorting, and to make sure it's close enough to the action. This is why headphones are provided.